All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's AMA session. Great to see so many people of you. And I think in the end, most of you will get a very nice po-up that we shared up front in our Twitter channel. So, all right. Yeah, so we were actually asking the community what to discuss um, this week, and we were very happy that Okoliavo actually proposed to discuss the Oracle topic and the role of oracles in DIVA protocol and why we chose to go with Teller instead of Chainlink at the beginning. And yeah, so I think that's basically uh, the topic for today. Exactly. So let's get started. And maybe before we dive into the um, Oracle topic, let me recap quickly where the Oracle comes in DIVA protocol. So as some of you may know that participate in the testnet, DIVA protocol allows you to issue products that derive their payout depending on the outcome of an external event. So for instance, I don't know, if the Bitcoin price is at 25K tomorrow, right, you get payout X. Or if the temperature tomorrow is above 26 degrees, for instance, then you get payoff X. So you basically need someone to report the Bitcoin price or the temperature or whatever underlying you have chosen when you have created a product. And DIVA protocol was designed to be um, Oracle agnostic. So basically, when you create a product, a derivative product using DIVA protocol, um, he, the data provider that you specify is simply an address. That means it can be an externally owned account like you or I, right? Like a human, or it can be a smart contract address, and that smart contract may be equipped with some logic to derive the outcome um, for that derivative product. So that's kind of like to set the stage how things work in DIVA protocol. And yeah, so given the fact that it's just an address that you specify for the Oracle, you basically have the full flexibility what you integrate as your Oracle. So say if you are betting with friends, right, and you trust each other, you can select one of your friends as the kind of like data provider. However, if you have a market with a broad set of market participants, which may be anonymous, right? You most likely don't want someone or one kind of like party to report the outcome because of manipulation and single point of failure risks, right? So when it comes to these type of setups, you try to go with something that is more decentralized, that is not prone to failure of one single entity, right? That is open for everyone to report. So, and basically what I want to say is you can use different types of oracles in the end that fits your needs and uh, the trust assumptions that you need. So centralized or decentralized. Now, on the decentralized Oracle side, you have plenty options. So one option that was mentioned in the tweet here was Chainlink. So that's probably the largest one and most famous Oracle provider. And we actually, when we kind of like started looking into oracles that we can integrate into DIVA protocol, we looked at Chainlink. Now the problem with Chainlink back then was that Chainlink only reports current data, right? So if say a derivative product expired, you basically need to make sure that basically in the next block, the value is the observation as of that point in time um, is reported. So Chainlink has like an automation process where they can guarantee with a high certainty that this outcome will be reported in the next block. But if you have like a congested network, right, you may not receive that value, and the longer you wait, the longer you move away from expiry, the more inaccurate the outcome reporting will be, and the more inaccurate the payouts will be for the parties that are holding the position tokens. So um, we kind of like ran into that problem, and then we were looking for oracles that were able or flexible enough to report historical data, right? And that's kind of like how we got connected to Teller. And those that do not know Teller, so you can visit them on teller.io and check them out, like the docs and yeah, how they work. But in a nutshell, basically how this works is um, it's basically like a key value mapping in a smart contract. So you can if you know something needs reporting, like a derivative product that was created on DIVA protocol and expired needs reporting, you can submit a value to this smart contract, right? You can say, okay, the Bitcoin price at that point in time was 21,000. And this is a fully permissionless process, so everyone can submit what he thinks is right. If you submit, you have to stake, right, in order to have skin in the game and not manipulate it. And there's also a dispute mechanism built in. That means if you submit the wrong value, you may get dispute and lose your stake that you put upfront for reporting. So um, there are incentives in place in order to incentivize honest reporting. And yeah, so we kind of like got connected with the Teller team, and um, those guys were really amazing, super helpful. So we set up like a weekly call with them to go through the implementation, to learn about best practices, how to implement the Tele Oracle. And yeah, so because they were so helpful and we had these weekly calls, it was just natural to pursue this first Oracle integration with Teller. Now, what does that mean? So Teller is the first integration. I mean, it will basically go live when the whole system will go live. And but our goal is to integrate more Oracle solutions out there. So including Chainlink, including UMA protocol, right? We already talked to them and they expressed interest. And because we have the kind of like the adapter to Teller already built, we can use it as a template and easily integrate any other Oracle and give users of DIVA protocol the full flexibility which Oracle to choose. So if you like Chainlink and if you don't, if you kind of like want to take the risk that there might be a small delay, if the network gets congested, then you can go with Chainlink, right? It's kind of like a trade-off. You accept this risk, but the value has or the reporting will happen shortly after expiration, and with that you can just directly redeem your payout, right? Very nice user experience, but you have this additional risk that I mentioned before. With Teller, it's basically a slower process. So when someone reports, the reported value, will have to remain undisputed for 12 hours. So if that condition is met, only then that value will be pushed into DIVA protocol in order to determine the payouts for the two sides of the derivative contract. So people have to wait longer here, but you you kind of like don't necessarily have the risk of this of a congested network, and the value that is reported has to be as of the expiration date. So it doesn't matter whether a reporter comes 3 hours later or 5 hours later after the expiration. They are expected to report the value that is prevailing at expiration, and that's quite yeah, quite, how to say, exactly what we need at DIVA protocol, right? And yeah, so we will continue with the integration. That's also on our roadmap. As if you took a look at the slide deck, the updated one, so you see Foster integrations, and oracles is a big part of that. So you see Teller is already listed here, and Shamba, if you have followed us regarding the conditional donation product. So we are using Shamba Oracle, which is kind of like an Oracle provider specialized on providing spatial data to smart contracts. So basically data that they receive from satellites and then pass it on into to smart contracts, right? And we use them, for instance, in in the conditional donation pilot program that will be upcoming in March. So there's plenty of flexibility, and yeah, it's basically the choices with the user. So the user will have to know which are the oracles that I can trust, right? And when they create these products, they can choose them. So it's basically very similar to Ethereum, right? When you interact with a smart contract, there is kind of like a consensus that, say, the wrapped ETH contract at that address wasn't hacked for a very long time, so I can trust that I can interact with that. And very similar it will be with oracles. So some oracles will um, turn out to be very reliable in terms of reporting, and we would expect a consensus being built around these oracles, and they will be then selected for reporting. Um, exactly. So right now, I was talking about oracles that report data that is sitting most of the time in the off-chain world and report it on-chain. But there are also other types of data that can be where no oracle is actually needed. So you just need a process to kind of like pull that data, and that is on-chain data. So let's say, I don't know, you have an interest rate that is on-chain that you want to use as your underlying. Because the data already sits on-chain, you can just pull that value after the product has expired, and you don't need basically any uh, Oracle provider to 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 do that. So these are use cases that we are already exploring with two protocols. One is Arbor, a lending protocol for DAOs, and IPOR, an interest rate focused protocol. The limitation here is just the data that is available, right? So temperature. This is something that is and will be always off-chain, so will never be on-chain, most likely. I don't know. Exactly, or other types of more exotic data that do not live on-chain. So the data set that you can pull via an on-chain call is kind of like limited right now. Yeah, this Teller Oracle integration, this will be submitted as part of the audit in March. So when DIVA system goes live, the Teller Oracle will go live, and we will also hold another session to show the teller community as well as our community how to run a reporter. So as I said at the beginning, teller is permissionless, so any one of you can run a piece of software that will be shared with the community and earn money. Right? So if you are the first one that reports, and this value is used for settlement, you get rewarded, right? So it's kind of like a report to earn thing. And we actually started building a dashboard into the DIVA app where everyone would kind of like see what are the products that need reporting. And you can do it also via the interface, so you don't necessarily need to run um, like a piece of software on your machine, but you can also do it manually. So this could be useful, I don't know, if you create a bet on the outcome of a sports match, right? Um, Maybe the software cannot handle sports data yet, right? So you could use that interface in order in order to report the outcome. Maybe let me try to share it with you and show you what I mean. It's still in development, and but I can maybe give you like a few insights into that part. Okay, just to give you like an idea how it will look like. And that's now really teller specific, right? So we're building this dashboard for teller. So basically how it will look like, so you would let's say, I don't know, you're bored, you want to earn some money, so you go to the DIVA app, to the teller reporting page, and then you see these pools uh, that are about to expire or already expired. And then you can see, okay, what is the expected reward that you can earn from reporting. So for some, it may be negative, right? So people might need to add tips in order to incentivize people to spend gas and report outcomes. For some, there may already be tips added to some of the pools, or the fees are already enough, so you don't need any tips. So you can then go report, basically submit your value to the Teller smart contract. And if it stays undisputed for 12 hours, you can settle it. You just press this click button, it will pull that value, pass it on to DIVA protocol, done, right? And yeah, so the full functionality will be implemented in such a dashboard. And yeah, as I said, will give everyone a platform to earn money from reporting. And yeah, so that's kind of like we started with Teller, and they were helpful. The Oracle is amazing, very flexible, and we kind of like stuck with that for now. But yeah, we will definitely also explore um, other Oracle's integrations. Right now, I talked a lot, so let me maybe check the questions from the community and go through that. So let me check where it started. Voice is breaking. I hope you. Okay, good. Um, uh, at the end, we want again to say very soon about the citizens of Europe would invest at DIVA, and when the other countries could invest. Thanks a lot. I mean, I assume you are referring to this equity offering that we were discussing a couple of weeks back. I mean, it, just to clarify, the equity offering that is in the company, the delegate that will take over ownership at the beginning. The DIVA token is separate. The DIVA token is a voting token to select the delegate. Two separate things, and the DIVA token will be open for everyone. And if we pursue the equity offering, the first kind of like round will probably be for Europeans, but then it will open up for everyone. So if we have more infos on that, we will keep you updated. Can you please give me an info about the tokenomics of DIVA, the initial allocation, circulation? Where can I find some info about that? Yeah, so the best place to find information about the DIVA token is actually in our slide deck. So which you can find. Let me show you where you can find it. You go to Docs and then you find the pitch deck. And I always publish new versions of the pitch deck here. And so, yeah, just go here and then you find the deck. And on slide 13, you find an overview of the DIVA token. So as I said, the DIVA token acts as a voting token to elect the delegate. So you as a DIVA token holder, you can say, okay, I want this address to act on my behalf, right? And everyone can do that. And you would basically lock your DIVA tokens as long as you are supporting that candidate. If you feel this candidate doesn't do a good job, you can unstake your token and lock it for someone else, right? And and you're basically voting for a delegate, and that delegate is basically acting on your behalf and for their services. So they're kind of like your service provider. And for the services that they provide, you pay them via the protocol fees that the protocol is generating, via the DIVA token issuance that we baked into the protocol. And yeah, so that's kind of like the setup. So you combine the efficiency of a centralized approach and with the staking and unstaking mechanism that I just described, you basically put a decentralized layer below. So that's similar, like, I don't know, there's a country has elected a president, and if they are not happy um, with what they're doing, at any point in time, they could remove their support and give it to someone else, right? And if, say, a new delegate comes to power, they will get access to the fees, and the previous delegate will lose access to the fees. So it's kind of like a seamless transition from one delegate to another. And I think it's pretty unique in DIVA protocol. Is something we came up with, given the problems that we have seen with other token governance-based protocols, where you typically see low participation. You have the quorums that are not reached because people do not participate. So we felt it needs a central element to make these things efficient, more flexible, but without losing decentralization. Or in order to not lose decentralization, you add this decentralized voting layer on top below. And yeah, in terms of DIVA token release schedule, so at the beginning, there will be roughly, when things go live, there will be roughly 20% of the overall token supply in circulation, and it will roughly double over 2 years because the tokens of the early contributors and investors will vest over a period of 2 years. And after that, you see that it goes up in a straight line. So that's the 2% annual issuance that I mentioned on the slide before. So that means after the end of year 2, there will be like DIVA tokens will be released over a period of 30 years. Hope that answers your question. um, Perfect. Please, when testnet phase 2, we will announce that. So now priority is to get everything ready for the audit, everything ready for the launch, and we try to squeeze in as testnet phase 2 and let everybody know, of course. Since I'm a developer, how the team is planning to help more and more people get in the wave and help them build on DIVA protocol. Yeah, that's good. That's cool. I mean, as you, we one of our goals is to grow the developer community. So, and we plan to achieve that by having clean documentation. So also in docs here, you find our smart contract documentation, which basically gives you all the functionality that the protocol implements and that you can use um, as a developer. However, I mean, this documentation basically shows you the full functionality. However, in order to build one platform, you often just need two functions that you need to call. And if you learn how to call these two functions, then you can build a whole platform around that. So this conditional donation platform that we are working at, you see the donate button in the background that's triggering one function on the DIVA protocol. And here, when the donation expired or the product expired and the outcome has been reported, you can claim your donation. It's a second function. So you can build a whole platform with a novel use case just by calling one or two functions on DIVA protocol. And it's very easy, and we are supportive. So if you plan to develop an application on top of DIVA protocol, get in touch with us. We are happy to support you. We have a lot of examples. We can give you a lot of inspiration. And yeah, and maybe something to note here. So we cannot, at this stage, until we haven't confirmed or haven't raised yet, we cannot kind of like provide you with grants, but we can support you in raising money for a platform that you plan to build on top of DIVA protocol. So as I said, if you're a developer, please approach me and let's discuss whether there are opportunities to collaborate. Perfect. Fundraising details, yeah, I mean, still ongoing. It's yeah, pretty hard, I have to say. We're talking to many people. There's a lot of interest, but yeah, the current market environment is a little bit challenging. So to everyone, if you know someone, just share with them the deck that I've shown. Go to docs.diva protocol, copy the link and share it with people that you believe might be interested in DIVA protocol. Yeah, so the token will go live together with the mainnet. Whether there will be a market or not, that remains to be seen, but there will be a token because it's kind of like used for voting. In testnet phase, can we participate? Would like to take part and share my feedback on the team. Tokenomics seems really good, by the way. With a fast check, I did. Cool. Which chain will DIVA token launch? So the DIVA token will be on the Ethereum chain, and yeah, but the DIVA protocol itself will be deployed on multiple EVM compatible chains. But for the DIVA token, we just had to choose one chain, and I think Ethereum makes a lot of sense here. Maybe bro this month after, so gas is so high if launch ETH. Yeah, I mean, yeah. As I said, DIVA will be deployed also on Polygon and other protocols where gas is low. And the conditional donation pilot that I just showed that we're about to launch in March, this will happen on Polygon. Can currency prices API work as an oracle, like current values of tokens using market cap? Yeah, everything. Yeah, I mean, you can build your own oracle. So we will publish a version and share it with the community, and you can then basically yeah, extend it according to your needs. I think our version comes with a Kraken API, but you can also replace it with CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, built-in sports data. I mean, you can do whatever you want once you know the general structure. What will be the maximum supply of DIVA token? 100 million. That's in the slide deck. Can the report to earn also be used to flag incorrect reporting? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can also earn money by highlighting wrong reporting. So there will be a dispute button here. So if someone has reported the value, let's say here someone has reported 27,000 and you disagree, you can dispute it. You have to also post a bond, right? To avoid that you, yeah, to have some skin in the game. And if you're right, um, you will basically get your bond back plus a fee. So yes, it works for reporting and disputing. Good question. Thank you. Um, is there a minimum token we have to hold to vote on the DIVA protocol later? No, I think that's also the beauty of the model that we came up with. There is no quorum. You can also just stake one token for one address, right? Really no minimum. So if you have 100 tokens, you can also just keep 20, I don't know, for yourself. Don't stake it for anyone, and you can stake the other 80. And also you can stake for multiple parties if you want. So it's kind of like completely up to you. And also the delegate, it might be something who just received 1% of the overall supply as a stake, as support, right? You don't need like a 50% majority, but you just need the majority of votes, which makes it, yeah, quite flexible. Do you want to announce us the date of the second testnet phase? Discussed that already. What is the rate which will be distributed to the public? Not sure what you mean here, but maybe I assume you're referring to the DIVA token unlock. So 2% will be unlocked every year. And I mean, the main idea is to fund protocol development, especially in the early phase. But we would also expect the delegate to kind of like share it with the community and run various initiatives that benefit the protocol and share this DIVA token issuance with the community. Kimepoap, that's at the end of the call. What wallet needed for Teller? I mean, it's like your MetaMask wallet, but literally just any wallet that you use to interact with the blockchain. Um, is there a measure to put in place when a protocol is under attack from malicious actors? I mean, yeah, we built in a pause functionality which can be which can be activated for a maximum 8 days, and it would only affect the withdrawal. It would not impact the kind of like reporting of the outcome and the settlement process. This is something the delegate can do, but yeah, I mean, it's always hard to tell. If someone wants to attack, he will do it probably in a very smart way where this kind of like possibility will come late, but I think it's still good to have that functionality just in case. Um, okay, any new questions? So many questions. Has there been any seed sale of the DIVA token? Yes, last year Q1. We raised 550K in Q1 last year. You said people vote for delegate, but for other people who received votes but are not in the first place, did their vote goes to the one with more votes? No, it just stays. Yeah. So let me give you maybe an idea, because we have already designed the governance dashboard. It's just not yet live or not implemented, but just to give you like a feeling how this will look like. So here you see there is one protocol owner, basically the one that received the most stake. So here 3,500. And then there will be others. Maybe that's a little bit confusing that there's 3,500, but let's assume that's 2,500, something less than 3,000, right? And there will be others, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, you like one delegate, someone else likes the other delegate, and you can also vote for the other delegates, but that doesn't mean they are elected or the winner in the end, right? There's only one owner, and that's typically the one that receives most stake, and the other, yeah, just remains staked. And if you want to remove your stake and stake it for the owner, you can also do that, but that's not something that would happen automatically. Um, we need ETH for the, well, yes, like with any, like for any transaction, if you do on Ethereum, based on DIVA documentation, in the early phase of DIVA, early contributors will be the fallback Oracle providers in the event that the main provider fails to report the value. Yeah. Do you foresee any reliability issue with such fallback arrangements coming from a source not curated to industry standards? What is the plan for the fallback provider? Yeah, that's a very good question. Okay, let me take one step back just to explain everyone, or give you a little bit of background on this fallback provider. So how the reporting basically works is if a product expires, then DIVA protocol grants the reporter a 7-day window in order to report the outcome. And if they report it earlier, then that's good, right? People can redeem earlier. But if, say, they don't report at all, what we built in as a fallback option is this so-called fallback data provider. So there is another party that would step in and report the outcome that they think is the right one. And for instance, for the Teller Oracle, we don't expect this to happen that much. And because it's kind of like permissionless reporting and it's incentivized. But if it happens, we will have guidelines and rules um, around when the fallback provider will step in. Let's give you an example. If you create a product, derivative product, and you deposit some valueless ERC20 tokens that you just minted, right? And you select the BTC price as your underlying, and nobody is reporting because the fee that is paid in the collateral token is basically worth nothing, then you can probably also assume that the fallback provider will not report in that case. So why would the fallback provider spend gas on reporting for something where he is not rewarded at all? So this is an area that we kind of like are still working on, but at the beginning it will be probably just a multisig. And yeah, there will be some guidelines when the fallback provider will step in. Very good question, thank you. Most good. This is the most good AMA lol every time AMAs with more information and excited. That's great. That's great. Great to see that you love it. Diva invest in Binance. Oh yeah. Not the other way around. Let's see. Let's see. That's a quite challenging goal for life. Um, I see now Diva have very great UX, not like when we on phase one. Yeah, I mean, we constantly try to improve and make it better. And the phase one definitely helped to kind of like iron out bugs and some issues in the front end. So we keep building. So on your roadmap, 1.7%. For the testnet partition, will this be unlocked linearly? No, this will be all unlocked immediately. And just to clarify, 1.7%, sorry about that, 1.7% is it's 1.7 million tokens, right? And 1.7%, that's of the overall supply. If you only consider the circulating supply at the beginning, testnet participants actually have 8.5% of the token supply. So just to put things in perspective, right? It's actually much higher at the beginning and will be diluted over time, assuming nobody is selling and buying. Um, Perfect. As we go into the future, we expect that the needs of crypto industry and users will constantly evolve. Apart from derivatives, are there any other products that the team may consider delving into the future? Well, I think we stay with derivatives for quite some time. I feel it's one of the most exciting areas because you have so much flexibility. You can build, I mean, you can build insurance, you can build structured products, conditional donations, what else? Swaps. I mean, it's like a playground in its own, the derivative space, and I don't think it will get boring anytime soon. So don't think we will kind of like move into something else in the near term, and we'll focus all our energy on the derivative space and optimizing DIVA protocol for the community. I hope DIVA will be the next Vela. Hey, no price discussions here. Will DIVA run in multi-chain? Yes, that I already mentioned. Perfect. All right. Hey, so it's now 45 minutes. I think we can we can wrap it up here. Thank you all for joining this session, and yeah, you will be rewarded with a POAP after this session. So thank you all, and yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye, everyone.